I look back to the many years that I came from that tiny village called Chebaga, somewhere in the woods there.
In the women representative contest, Beatrice Kemei emerged victorious with 87,182 votes, beating the incumbent Florence Bore, who garnered 64,651 votes.
For the faith, for the trust that the people of Kericho have in me. It has taken the hand of God. It has taken the love of these great people for me to have this certificate.
In the parliamentary nominations, Hilary Kosgei of Kipkolen West constituency and his Belgood counterpart Nelson Koech was paired and will defend their seats as UDA ticket in the August polls.
The number of voters who turned out to vote were 203,698.
Sitting MPs who lost the nominations are Joseph Limo of Kipkelon East, who lost to Joseph Cherorot, Kipsengeret Koros, who was beaten by former MP Justice Kemei, Buretis Kiptagach Muta lost to Kibet Komingoi, and Sylvanus Maritime was floored by former MP Benjamin Langat in an Moi constituency. Ruth Wamboy for Lunchtime News.
Losers in the United Democratic Alliance Party primaries across the country are crying foul, terming the exercise as a sham and want it repeated. On Friday, there was a standoff at the Nyahururu High School in Laikipia West constituency during the declaration of the UDA nomination results. This is after a section of the parliamentary aspirants faulted the results over rigging claims.
UDA party primaries in Laikipia West constituency were conducted peacefully at Nyahururu High School. However, things fell apart when the returning officer announced the results to determine a winner to fly the flag of the party in the August 9th general elections.
Declaration of Member of Parliament election results.
Excuse me, Arao, I have a point. I want indulgence in that area.
The outcome indicated that former area MP Dr. Washira Karani had emerged the winner to carry the UDA flag ahead of the forthcoming general elections, a move protested by his opponent.
So kindly, with due respect, we've made a formal complaint to the National Elections Board, and we are very peaceful. This party needs consensus, and therefore, as a family, we are requesting you to listen to us. We are very peaceful. Don't release those results. And
Kamau Kamatu, one of the aspirants, launched an official complaint with the UDA Elections Board to halt the process until their case is heard.
With tremendous respect, we are urging you not to release the provisional results because we have made a formal complaint to the National Elections Board.
Meanwhile, UDA candidates in Bahati, Nakuru County won the party primaries repeated after claims of irregularities. A section of aspirants led by John Mbugwa claimed the exercise was marred in irregularities.
Tujaridhika na matokeo haya hata kidogo. Watu wote, presiding officers pamoja na clerks wote waliweza kuchaguliwa na Kimani Gojiri. Mimi nimereject matokeo haya, nimekatana nayo kabisa, na watu wa Bahati wote hatujakubaliana na nini? Na hiyo matokeo.
In Kiambu, Thika MP Patrick Wainaina claims he has been shortchanged. Wainaina says his name on the ballot paper was strongly spelled and even his photo was not clear.
Ruin this party, and you want to ruin the good work that this party has done, and we cannot allow you to do that. Yes, correct. Yes, we cannot allow you to do that. Yes. No, listen, my friend.
Some voters in the county claimed Kabete MP Kimani Chugwa was working with the election board to issue certificates to his cronies.
The only option is nullifying. If it's not nullifying, then he gives us a sit-in. And we pray no interference from people, because we think there's some influence by people who are up there.
The second one I had 2 times his vote. But tukiamkia asubuhi, we had already started celebrating. Tukiamkia asubuhi tulichengwa. Akaongezewa 1,000 votes on his vote. Na wakasema amewin.
Uchaguzi wa UDA uko na shida, na kama hawako tayari watuambie tunaweza hamia Azimio. Sababu tuliamini kwamba UDA mheshimiwa wetu DP akisema kwamba itakuwa na usawa, lakini sioni kama hapa kuna usawa.
Frederick Muki for Lunchtime News.
Kikuyu Council of Elders together is now urging the Azimio coalition to try consensus and avert a bitter fallout in its bid to win in the August 9th general election. Speaking in Kiambu, the elders say there is a need for the coalition to tame any competition from the ward level upwards so as to move along with its supporters. And now, staying with that same story, we want to take you to Kiambu County, where Nancy Okware has been camping there to follow up on the UDA party nomination results. And that exercise in that county has not yet been finalized. Over to you, Nancy.
Well, a very good afternoon to you, Nissy. Imano back in studio. We are coming live from Kanyerere High School right here in Gitaru ward of Kabete constituency in Kiambu County. This is one of the polling centers where the election is actually taking place. Remember that the exercise did not kick off on Thursday. That is the UDA nominations, and due to the lack of the proper material, including the register, the voter register, and today it is among a number of wards that are actually conducting their primaries today. Another ward in this area of Kabete constituency is Nyadhuna, and the exercise is taking place at St. Mary's Kaimba. In Ruiru constituency, the exercise is also taking place in Mwiki Primary School, Mwiki Assistant Chief Camp, and also at St. Augustine Catholic Church. In Ruiru constituency, that is Mwiki area, for instance, the exercise did not kick off due to some chaos that actually took place before the exercise, informing or rather forcing the election officials to postpone it to today. Right here in Kabete, and actually at this primary school, we've noticed that so far the exercise started at around 9 a.m. and we have been informed by the presiding officer that so far only 33 people have managed to cast their ballot. We do expect that the number will be going up in a short while. Just to get more details on why the exercise was actually postponed in this area, I'm now joined I'll be speaking to the presiding officer who is in charge of Kabete constituency. He is supposed to tell us what actually led to the postponement of this exercise at this area. But just before we speak to the presiding officer, I'd like to inform you that this is not actually the tallying center. The tallying center for the county is at the Kiambu Institute of Science and Technology. That is where the results will be taken for tabulation. Right now, we cannot be able to inform our viewers the exact numbers in terms of the gubernatorial and the woman representative position, because looking at the numbers, Kimani Wamatangi, those are the provisional results. Kimani Wamatangi, as at yesterday, was on the lead with about 70,000 votes, and followed by Patrick Wainaina, who had over 50,000 votes. I'm now joined by the Kabete constituency presiding officer, Mr. Njoroge. Thank you so much for speaking to us. As we start off, maybe you can tell our viewers why the exercise at this constituency and in these two wards was actually postponed.
Yeah, I'm the returning officer, Kabete constituency. we have conducted most of the elections or most of the nomination exercise. However, in 3 centers, polling centers, we were not able to conduct the election or the nomination exercise, rather, because when packaging of materials was being done, the registers of voters were missing, so we had to put that aside. And once we now have access to the registers, we are now holding the nomination exercise, but it is only for 2 centers. We are holding the nomination exercise for St. Mary's Kaimba in Nyadhona Ward and this station Kanyarere Secondary School, which is within Gitaro Ward. Yeah.
Looking at the exercise so far, would you say that the materials actually today came on time, and having assessed the other center, would you say the exercise is smooth so far?
We had some logistical issues, and that is why the exercise, we were anticipating that the exercise would begin at 6. However, the logistical issues, transport of materials from the main station, that is the county tallying center, that is where we had to transport materials from, that delayed us a bit, but nevertheless we were able to make it in time. Not in time, but we were late, but the exercise kicked off and is running on very smoothly. Yeah.
Thank you so much for speaking to us, and we do hope that the rest of the day we'll be seeing an improvement in the numbers. That has been the returning officer for Kabete constituency telling us that the exercise so far is smooth despite the low voter turnout at this rate. Remember that UDA is actually using the voter register that was used in 2017, meaning that a number of people are not in that register. But what we've been informed by the officials is that whenever they come here and they are new or fresh voters, they are able to vote using the voter card and of course the national identification card. We will continue making stopovers in the other centers just to give our viewers a feel of what is happening on the ground before we head to the county tallying center that is at the Kiambu Institute of Science and Technology. For now, it's back to you, Nissy Imano, in studio.
Thank you very much, Nancy Okware, who is currently in Kiambu County, following up on the ODM nomination exercise that was delayed in that particular county, and voting is currently ongoing for the position of governor and women representative. That we are following closely for you. But right now, Kikuyu Council of Elders together is now urging Azimio Coalition to try consensus and avert a bitter fallout in its bid to win in the August 9th general election. Speaking in Kiambu, the elders say there is a need for the coalition to tame any competition from the ward level upwards so as to move along with its supporters.
Speaking in Ruaka, Kiambu County, when the council met with top leadership in both Jubilee and ODM parties, the Kikuyu Council of Elders Chairman Wachira Kiago said the coalition should adopt consensus, building from the ward level upwards in Kiambu County to avert any fallout.
Mambo ya nominations iko katika mikononi ya watu wenye Kiambu, na advice yetu kutoka kwa wazee na kutoka kwa chama hizo mbili ni kwamba hiyo maneno ifanywe katika maward.
Nataka hii leadership iko hapa kutokea leo waende wakaambia watu ukweli.
No quorums or no issues with the candidates sitting together and going through what we call negotiated democracy. If we can agree to back one of us, that would be very, very, very useful to the party and even to the community.
While in Migori County, a section of electorates and aspirants in the ODM party are now accusing the party's chairman, John Badi, of meddling with the nominations. Ureri constituency parliamentary hopeful Jared Kwaga said he will not sit back and watch his victory snatched by people he claims to be cartels in the party.
And now I'm an aspirant. We expect nobody, no communication, no word. Don't talk even about refund. We don't have problem with the money. We have problem with the justice for nomination.
As we'll be electing Raila Amolo Odinga, you have no choice but to elect Peter Francis Masara for the 5 next years.
Huko Nairobi hakuna kura. Hapa Mashinani ndio iko kura. Na akifanya tu eti nampa mtu direct ticket. Utakuja pata aibu na hiyo direct ticket. Kabisa, hiyo direct ticket sisi ndio nakuja kupiga hapa kura.
While Migori County Woman Representative Pamela Odhiambo has expressed her disappointment with the party for issuing a direct nomination ticket to Achilo Ayako. Odhiambo says she's been subjected to unfair treatment and humiliation by a party she has long served with humility and loyalty.
We have been vying. I have campaigned in this county. I've crisscrossed all the villages. All my party leaders and all the people concerned.
And moving on, Kenyans have been advised to test and know their sickle cell status as a way of curbing the spread of the disease. More University Dawn says mitigation measures can be embarked on among couples at risk before they start getting children. Trevor Ngendo reports.
Of 240,000 children in Africa born with sickle cell disease each year, Kenya accounts for 6,000 cases. Sickle cell disease is caused by a hemoglobin disorder passed through the parents' genes. The disease affects the shape of red blood cells, which circulate oxygen to all parts of the body, leading to insufficient flow of oxygen in organs and body tissues, resulting to high mortality rates, especially for children under the age of 5. Professor Constance Tenge from Moi University says it is possible to prevent birth of children with sickle cell if Kenyans present themselves for testing to know their sickle cell status.
What we actually need to do is to tell people that test and know your sickle cell status. If you carry the gene that is AS, a carrier or somebody who suffers SS, it will be nice to pair up with somebody who has normal hemoglobin, which is AA. And if this is done, or if we do that, people get that information, they make informed choices, then we can be able to prevent birth of sickle.
Speaking in Kakamega ahead of the World Hemophilia Day celebrated worldwide every 17th of April, Professor Tenge noted that most of the people who express the symptoms of sickle cell are likely to have received the disease from both parents, adding that one who receives from one parent becomes a carrier of the disease.
Now, the only problem here is lack of equipment. We don't have testing, a way of testing. The high-performance liquid chromatography machines or HB electrophoresis machine. According to the Sickle Cell Disease Registry and Control Program, Busia County leads with 550 cases. Professor Tenge cited lack of specialists to diagnose sickle cell disease at early stages, as well as the financial burden as the major challenges, and called for more partners to set up clinics to manage the cases at the grassroots level. We have NHIF, and we have what we call the essential package of NHIF. And this, we know cancer has essential package. Which other one? Dialysis has. Surgery has an essential package. Why not sickle cell disease? So, as much as we may say what to pay, but we need to look at NHIF and see how NHIF can assist our patients.
Trevor Ngendo, Lunchtime News.
The tough economic times occasioned by high cost of living has continued to adversely affect street-connected children across the country. A section of street children in Nairobi, led by humanitarian Mary Mwende, are now calling on the government and any other well-wisher to reconnect them with their families, citing they are ready to reform and be rolled out to the community in a more productive way and live-sustaining schemes. Our reporter, Brian Mwindi, caught up with a section of street-connected children and filed this report.
Rape ama saa zingine wasichana wadogo wanalazimika kufanya mambo ambayo yafai. They end up getting pregnant. Wanakuwa advised kwa sababu wako wengi. Sio wote wako positive. Mwingine ataambia msichana toa mimba, na akishatoa mimba anaweza akakufa ama akapata madhara in future.
Unajua kuna wenye huwa wanakosa chakula. Yani ukiona wakiiba, yani kuna wenye wako na watoto. Sasa hata wakiiba, yani ni venye wanajaribu kuomba pesa. Unajua na saa for example anaenda anaomba mtu pesa, anemtukana, yani ile maasira akitoa hivi simu na alipita nayo.
So when I saw it working, nikaona there is a big chance of bringing peace. Juu hao wanapokuwa wanaenda nyumbani, there is more peace in the streets. The crime inaenda chini and we are happy when they are reforming.
Away from that, Nyandarua County Governor Francis Kimemia has won Mizani Africa Awards for the best performing governor in the Central Region. Kimemia was fitted for his development performance, service delivery and leadership qualities.
Governor Francis Kimemia received the Top Performance Leadership Award after topping the list in performance merit. He also emerged as the best in Central Region, a recognition that was well received by the residents who termed Governor Kimemia as a result-oriented leader.
Tukiangalia hata upande wa barabara, tunaona kila eneo, unaona barabara zingine hazikuwa zimelimwa hata wakati wa mkoroni.
The residents who urged other political leaders in the county to emulate Governor Kimemia further called on leaders across the country to observe peace.
Kwa uendeshaji bora wake wa uongozi, kuweka mahesabu yake ya kaunti vizuri na pia mikakati yake mizuri. Ameshashinda tena, akapewa pesa na World Bank, akatununulia tingatinga za kujenga mabarabara, akatujengea hospitali na tumefurahi sana tukio watu wa soko na
Governor Kimemia won the award alongside his Embu counterpart Mudhomi Njoki. For Lunchtime News, I'm Zainab Said.
And elsewhere, the national government has released 6 billion shillings to the National Hospital Insurance Fund for the Universal Health Coverage Program. Speaking at the Baolala Health Center in Malindi Sub-County, Kilifi County, Health Principal Secretary Dr. Susan Mochache further said more than 1 million Kenyan families have already been registered for the program and that a further 220,000 others would be listed this year as the state inches towards the target of 4 million families. This and more stories in our county's news wrap.
In its commitment to ensure that all Kenyans can access quality Medicare as provided for in the Big Four agenda, the national government has disbursed a total of 6 billion shillings to cover for the already registered 1 million households across the country under the Universal Healthcare Program.
UHC ni lengo lake kubwa ni kuhakikisha kwamba wananchi wanaweza kupata huduma za afya na zaidi ya hiyo kuhakikisha kwamba huduma hizo zinapatikana bila gharama kwa mtu yeyote.
Elsewhere, East Africa member states have launched Great Lake Malaria Control Initiative to sustain efforts geared towards elimination and the spread of malaria.
That malaria needs to be tackled at a regional level since country efforts have not produced the desired outcome. The fight against malaria is constantly facing challenges, both existing and emerging, that include increased resistance of the parasite to the commonly used first-line anti-malaria drugs over time.
Meanwhile, Suna West Member of Parliament Peter Masara wants the government to increase bursary allocations to constituencies. The legislator says the 100% transition to secondary schools has increased demand for bursaries among less privileged learners.
You know, education is the equalizer. If many people are educated, if so many orphan and vulnerable children get bursary, it automatically reduces the incidences of insecurity. Because those with hope, somebody who has studied, will try to find a way of surviving.
And matatu owners and operators in the country are planning to increase bus fare from tomorrow countrywide. Speaking to matatu owners and operators in Meru Town today, National Chairman Matatu Operators Association, who is also the chairman of Huduma Credit, Jamal Ibrahim, said operators in the industry have been left with no option but to increase bus fare owing to the fuel prices increase.
Tumeshasikizana kwa kuwa fare tunapandisha na hakuna mtu ambaye anaweza punguza because we have loans to pay. We have there is a lot of tear and wears za hizi magari. Mafuta ndio hizi zimepanda.
Finally, in Narok County, poverty has stricken 90-year-old Mama Miriam Kisio, who is one of the few women in Kenya who fought for independence and lives to tell the Mau Mau tales. Miriam was the wife to the late Major General Kurito Ole Kisio, a renowned veteran war hero who not only participated in the Second World War, but also in the Mau Mau when it was a secret organization.
Nilikuwa naongea huko kwa kiwanja. Kasema sina bahari, ndio alisema hiyo bahari tulifungiwa kujera dogo. Ingewe hakuwa yangu. Sasa sijawahi batiwa.
Si tungeomba serikali yetu tukufu iweze kumsaidia na hata imuweze kumpatia hata mahali kashamba ataita yake ambaye atafurahia miaka hii ya
It is now time for sports, and Manchester City will play Liverpool today at Wembley Stadium in the FA Cup semi-finals. This will be the second time City and Liverpool meet in 6 days after playing out to an absorbing 2-2 draw at the Etihad Stadium in the Premier League on Sunday.
City boss Pep Guardiola is unsure whether Kevin De Bruyne or Kyle Walker will be fit to play the FA Cup semi-final after the duo sustained leg injuries in Wednesday's Champions League quarter-final second leg tie against Atletico Madrid. Liverpool will assess Diogo Jota's form after he picked up a knock in the 3-3 draw with Benfica on Wednesday. Meanwhile, Chelsea striker Romelu Lukaku could be fit for their FA Cup semi-final against Crystal Palace on Sunday, while Crystal Palace will be without on-loan midfielder Conor Gallagher.
The elite youth camp has played host to a total of 21 disciplines with athletes